I'm still in awe. I'm just not going to lie.
Tracy Conrad and her husband listened religiously for months before handing their savings over to what they thought were investment experts being interviewed on the radio. Shows that sounded like news, she says, with radio personalities who covered the news.
Insightful, expert advice about money matters.
This show is about investing in money, with money, and making money.
The bombshell came from the provincial regulator, the Ontario Securities Commission, saying it suspects those so-called experts were using fake names and had a fake company.
I trusted what I was hearing on the radio.
Turns out they also weren't allowed to operate in Ontario. Conrad says one call by the radio stations to the regulator would have caught that.
And I would have all my money still.
She and her husband say they lost $15,000. Dozens of Ontario radio listeners say they lost even more, for a total of $6 million, according to a class action lawsuit filed against the so-called experts and Chorus Entertainment. Chorus owns the global news radio shows that featured the fraudsters on programs like Ask the Experts and The Global Market. The allegations have not been proven in court. Chorus says the programs were infomercials and were clearly identified as such through disclaimers used before, after, and during the program, saying it intends to defend itself in court and is confident it acted diligently and responsibly, removing the programs after hearing concerns. Listener Cheryl Hansky says she lost $20,000 to the same fraudsters after listening to radio shows on stations owned by another media company, Bell Media.
I never once believed that it was an ad.
Bell says its shows, too, were paid programs, and when it became aware of legitimate concerns, it removed them. The Ontario Securities Commission believes the men who called themselves Stuart Price and Martin Schwartz on radio are actually Mark Singer and Bernard Sevilla. Go Public found Singer and Sevilla have a combined history of theft and investment fraud in the U.S., long before allegedly targeting Canadian investors.
It seems the men have disappeared along with the money, not returning messages from Go Public or investors. In fact, the company's phone line has been disconnected, and its website is down.
It's horrible.
Michael Ellis is the lawyer in the class action against Chorus and says he's preparing one against Bell.
These media companies were putting people on the air that were not licensed, that had no ability to do what they said that they were going to do.
This media ethicist says the situation is another example of the blurred line between news and advertising.
The whole area of paid content is an ethical quagmire.
Those who invested say the radio shows have gone silent on the topic.
To this day, they say nothing.
Never explaining why the so-called experts are no longer on the air. Rosa Marcatelli, CBC News, Calgary.